Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. Two patients in this compilation video. So this first patient here has this very sticky wax. Now you've heard us talk about Armadillo wax, basically wax that has this really hard outer shell but it's really soft and squishy in the middle. Now this would be the state of the wax before it gets to that really hard shell around the outside edge. So what we have here is a very thick and sticky type of earwax. The skin of the ear canal wall is a little bit drier, so what that does, it dries all the outer section of the wax and hardens that up for us. Now these types of wax form really good sort of acoustic seals almost inside the ear canal because it's this thick and sticky nature to it. When it binds to the canal walls, it tends to bind all the way around, which forms a really good plug. And if you put water in there or olive oil in there, it doesn't really help to shift that along too well, just because it gets absorbed into the wax. And although it makes it a bit less sticky, it's so thick in there that it really doesn't detach from the canal walls very well. It's also the kind of nemesis of suction tubes. So when you're putting the suction tube onto a wax normally, you want it to be slightly soft on the outside edge, but you want it to be a little bit harder in the middle. So as you draw it, it draws the whole plug out. Now with this being in the reverse, what happens is when you put the suction tube on there, it binds into that harder outer section and then pulls into the soft squishy stuff in the middle, which forms a good seal on the end. So you lose your suction straight away, which is why you'll see me coming in and out of this ear canal quite a bit, because we're flushing the tube through with water regularly to clear all that sticky wax from the inside of the tube. If it gets really bad, we do have a little, somebody's asked this question before about how we clean the tube. We got a little, almost like a little pipe cleaner, like a little plastic, thin piece of plastic that you can push through and it takes any blockages out of there as well if we get really desperate. Now what we're looking for here is, first of all, to detach that really sticky stuff from around the outside edge of the ear canal, but also to find the slightly harder sort of nugget that you'll find at the back of this wax normally. When you get hold of that, as you draw that down, it tends to pull all the sticky stuff with it. We're going to pop a little bit of olive oil in here soon. There we are, right on cue. So what that does, it helps to loosen the stickier part of the wax away, and it stops it from re-sticking when we do take it off the canal wall. And then as you see now, we're just lifting this harder piece at the back. So it's just starting to lift a little bit more. So rather than just the front side lifting off, the whole thing lifted up then, which shows we've got to that slightly harder section. We just need to detach the softer stuff from around the outside edge first, and then that whole piece will start to come down the ear canal there. So I'm just lifting from the sides now. See how as we get a grip on the top bit, the bottom half is really starting to move. Well, there we go. We're giving that a bit of, you will see me doing these little kind of wiggles going down. And what we're doing with that one is we're just kind of teasing it, walking it down the canal, if you like. There we go. All the way to the outside. Oops, got a little bit stuck. Let's see if we can it's a very busy road outside today, guys. I'm sorry if you hear the traffic going past. So we're just getting that last little bit out there. Look at that. I mean, that wasn't really a nugget. That was a whole chunk of gold back there. So you can see it was a really big piece. It came away really nicely, but you can see how the remnants of it are stuck to the canal wall, how this kind of oily material gets stuck there in that stickier wax. Now that thin layer you can see there, now that's quite normal. That's how wax should migrate down the ear canals, this very thin layer that gets carried along with the kind of skin migration, then with your jaw movement. So all that starts to come away. But the eardrum looking really healthy there. So this is the patient's other ear canal here. And you can see a very similar story. There is a little gap at the top. So you can see how this patient would have been feeling really blocked up on the one side, but not feeling quite as blocked up on the other. And when we get patients who've used olive oil to soften their wax, a lot of the time they'll soften it on one side, but because it makes them feel very blocked up, they're a bit reluctant to do it on the other. And I think that's probably what's happened here. But we're just gonna loosen again this side. Now this has this kind of more treacle tart kind of consistency, this almost granular liquid consistency to it, this one. There we go. So I've ruined it for everybody now who both likes eating treacle tart or armadillos. There you go, so we've ruined that one for them. I don't know if people can eat armadillos. I think they do, I'm not too sure. So basically we're gonna bring this one down. It's just getting a little bit stuck on the outside part of the ear canal. There we go. Let's roll this around. Out that comes. Let's take a look behind that one now. Whoops, let's get back in the ear canal. There we are, that's better. Oh, there we are, there's the eardrum looking good. You can see that very thin layer of wax on the outside edge. Now that thin layer of wax, I know it bugs you guys. Oh, let me do the measurements, I'll get lost otherwise. So just over, well, it's just over 3/4 of an inch, just under 2 centimeters there. We talk about this thin layer of wax. Now I know it really bugs you guys if we leave wax on the canal walls. Now don't forget, the wax has a really important job. I know I bang this drum a lot, guys, but it has a really important job. So it's slightly acidic, it's picking up dirt and debris. Thin layers of that against the canal wall is not going to affect the patient's hearing at all. And I know people say, but you know, you haven't cleared it all away. You don't really want to clear everything away, otherwise you leave that patient at the risk of infection, which is far worse than having a tiny little blot of wax in there, which isn't going to cause any problems at all, really. Now this patient, oh my goodness, you can see this is a tough old block of wax, this one. It didn't really want to come away very easily. You can see how it's attached there. It's reversed, isn't it? On the left hand side into the bottom of the ear canal there. It really doesn't want to come away. It's been polished to a surface at the front. Now this young man came through to clinic this morning actually. I'd actually been watching some of our videos on TikTok, so it came through from that channel there and found us through there. It is really wedged in. Now this young man, basically he'd been playing football and not experienced any issues with his hearing at all. And then suddenly, halfway through the match, he suddenly felt like his hearing had got completely blocked on one side. And that stayed like that for a few days. Used a bit of olive oil to loosen this up. What happens sometimes with earwax, I always describe it a bit like, very liberally, a bit like candle wax. The warmer it gets, the runnier and sort of slightly softer and stickier it gets. That's what had happened here. So he was running around on a football pitch. You perspire, you get warm, and the wax had actually shifted and moved position, so it had plugged the ear. And obviously as that cools back down, it's dried and solidified back onto the ear canal again, and that's what's caused this issue here. So I'm just really looking for any little bit of purchase really we can get on this piece of wax. Just going to wiggle this, there we go, a little bit come off the front end there. You can see as we were sort of pulling that down the ear canal, we had to kind of wiggle it off the front end of the wax there. Now, I'm in quite an awkward position here, so I've got to work right in the bottom of that little valley you can see. So I'm just trying to see if I pull from the top here. There we go. Now we've got a bit of movement. You can see that whole thing starting to jiggle back and forth. So I'll get that out for you. There we go. Out that comes. Let's bring that all the way out. There we go. Lovely. You can see a little bit of dry skin underneath there as well. And there's the eardrum looking lovely and healthy. There we go. So we'll show you what came out. So this was, a centimetre, 3/8 of an inch to be super precise in inches there, guys. God bless my easy read ruler. Guys, just to let you know, I'm away next week. I'm taking some time off to open a new clinic and be really busy. But I do not want to leave you without earwax removal videos because I know you miss me a lot, understandably so, I know. So I shall record some videos for you now. I'm going to do those tonight for you, so you won't go without your earwax removal videos next week. And then I shall be back in person. Well, I'll be in person on the videos next week, but properly back on Monday then, guys, for you in a week's time. So guys, have a lovely week without me, and I shall see you again in a week's time, and you'll see my pre-recorded videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. No, I'm going to tell you about that a bit later on. Bye everyone.